Hi, thank you very much for showing interest in my Power Platform adoption solution. In this page, you'll find more information about what's included in ZAP. You get some visuals on the tools as well, so you can get really familiar with what comes within the solution. So once you've had a read, if you've got any questions whatsoever, feel free to book a quick call with me. There is a bookings calendar that will set up a Teams meeting where we can talk a little bit more about ZAP and I can answer any of your questions. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is why ZAP helps you set up your Power Platform Center of Excellence in the right way. Why is it that I call it a holistic solution? So I've set up a few Center of Excellences in the low-code space within the last few years, starting with robotic process automation, RPA tools. Now I'm focusing more on the Power Platform, and it's a really exciting time to be involved in low-code tools because they are getting adopted more and more into businesses. Now, the challenge is that they are not like your traditional IT tools. That means that the approach is slightly different than what we've been used to. So taking all those things into account, along with looking at different disciplines, that's why I've created the Zicar Adoption Program. And this solution, it's holistic because it looks at a lot of the different disciplines and puts it all together in one package for you. Just to give you a little bit of a background as to what tools I've been working on, I am a certified Power Platform Solution Architect. I'm also certified in Blue Prism and UiPath. These are the RPA tools. Also a Scrum Master and got some experience with developing in a Scrum setup, in an Agile setup. And again, all these things that I've been doing for the past couple of years with different clients is something that will be included in ZAP. The development, the software development methodology is also something that's covered. As you know, Power Platform is a very powerful tool, and if implemented correctly into your organization, it can really bring about change and a lot of improvement in your processes and your culture. Now, a lot of solutions that are currently available for you and to help you with your adoption journey focus quite a bit on the functionality of Power Platform and the deployment of Power Platform in your tenancy. This is what's different with ZAP. I've looked at the digital transformation side of Power Platform, including the functional bits, and I've given you actions that are relevant for both implementing the Power Platform functionality and also thinking a bit more strategically and building a long-term plan that is sustainable and will bring about benefits in the long run. So as you can see in this model, a lot of the adoption is right at the bottom. It's all about day-to-day activities, the implementation, but digital transformation is kind of the bigger picture. And all of that has been thought about, and the actions that you'll be doing through my program will consider all of these different stages. Speaking more specifically at what I've considered when creating my own framework, the first thing I would like to share with you is Microsoft's digital feedback loop. So Microsoft follows this methodology when it comes to digital transformation internally. There are two things that stood out for me from it is the empowerment of employees and optimizing their operations. Now, that might sound familiar because the Power Platform really is involved in those two areas. So those two areas are pretty key, and it's important for you to understand them in order to then go on to a digital transformation journey with a Microsoft product. I've included this way of thinking as part of a lot of the stuff that we do within ZAP. So the goal is obviously through my framework, by adopting it in the way that I've set out, you will empower your employees and you will optimize operations. Another good thing about the digital transformation course is that Microsoft specifically pointed out to the success factors of a digital transformation program. And as you can see, it's all about being proactive and connecting things together and ensuring that you are delivering. And my framework walks you through that journey to allow you to do all of these things. That was quite interesting, looking at Microsoft and the digital transformation training that they have and the things that they would like you to consider. And as I've mentioned, all of that has been embedded into how we're looking at digital transformation and the actions we're taking when it comes to adopting the Power Platform through my program. So the next thing I looked at was the Microsoft Service Adoption Specialist course and the Service Adoption Framework that they have. So there is a specific way in which Microsoft sees how you should adopt a service into your business, and there are a couple of really good tips that Microsoft have, and that really helps with making sure you're doing things in the right way. So I've done the Service Adoption Specialist course to ensure I understand how Microsoft would like businesses to adopt their technologies. And the course is very insightful, and it gives a really high-level view of how you should go about setting up your center of excellence. For example, they want you to assemble your team, think about your strategy, and then action, rather than the usual scenario we see where you start using the tool first and then retrospectively think about your strategy. So again, that's where my program will help you focus in the right areas at the right time, as you'll be shown all of the different streams and the different things you've got to think about, and then you can prioritize them. This way you don't have to discover them when it's too late. The adoption framework is great, and Microsoft suggests that you adopt in 3 different phases, and they've got some really good tools and information that you need to follow and make sure your adoption journey goes smoothly. If you like the adoption framework that Microsoft have created, they've done the same for the Power Platform. Again, it's 3 stages. You can go to the Power Platform adoption website and see all of this in the adoption workbook along with other tools. What I've done is gone through this adoption framework and looked at the tools and enhanced it and made it specific to the Power Platform and specific to adoption of low-code tools. I've got 10 separate work streams, and within these work streams you've got actions that can run in parallel within the different streams. ZAP has a more systematic approach that will walk you through that journey. You won't have to figure all of these things out. It's all done for you. This way you can be assured that ZAP has looked at the relevant things and is following the right methodology. I wanted to ensure that the framework I've built is robust and has considered all of the existing frameworks and tools and has embedded those along with my own tools that I've created and my own methodologies. With that being said, thank you very much for your time. I hope you found what I've covered today insightful and that you share the same enthusiasm as me for my adoption program. As I said, I've considered all of these different frameworks and I've put it all in one place for you and made it easy for you. So you don't have to be overwhelmed. With the consultations and the tools and the framework I've built, your journey will be a lot easier. So feel free to book a call with me if you've got any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.